Hello! I'm the 10-minute English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today we're thinking about AQA GCSE English Language, Paper 1. We're going to look at every question in under 10 minutes. Okay, so how much do you know about English Language Paper 1 right now? How many questions are there? What do you need to do? And how many marks are each of them worth? You might want to pause the video now, think a little bit about that, and then we'll build on that knowledge thereafter. Okay, so English Language Paper 1. Firstly, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's how long you get. It's the fiction paper. There are two papers, fiction and non-fiction. This is the fiction paper. You get one text to read for the reading section of the paper. And for the writing section, you are given a choice of two options to do some creative writing. There are 5 questions in the paper. Okay, so you get 1 hour and 45 minutes. And here you can see that we've split that time in two. We've got an hour on the left and 45 minutes on the right. So the writing section is on the right, that's 45 minutes, and the reading section takes you an hour. That's how you're guided to use your time in the exam. We've got the reading section on the left, so that involves you reading the extract and then responding to that. And then on the right, you've got the writing section. That should take you 45 minutes. So let's break that reading section down. This is how you use your time. So in this exam, you are being tested on your reading and your writing, but you're also going to be successful if you're able to manage your time effectively. Some of the questions are worth more than others, and you need to make sure that you're giving the right amount of focus to each one. So this is how we dedicate our time. That hour, the first question, which is that in the top right-hand corner of that circle, that takes you about 15 minutes. You should read the extract in that time and then answer question 1. Then you've got question 2, which takes you about 12 minutes. The same is the case for question 3. And then question 4 is actually worth 20 marks, and it's worth 25% of the paper. So that one needs 25 minutes of your time. And here's what you need to do. So the first question is list 4 things after you've read the extract. It's relatively simple. Hundreds of thousands of students are sitting this examination, and the paper wants to give you a little bit of confidence right at the beginning. So you go into the exam and you read that extract first. Read it carefully at your own pace, and then you've got the first question. You're just having to list 4 simple things. So if the extract was about an old man with a beard walking down the road, the first paragraph might be, there was an old man who had a long beard who was walking down a road and felt very tired. When it says list 4 things, you're going to get marks for saying the man was old, he had a beard, he was tired. It's not meant to be a particularly challenging question. The majority of students get most of the marks. In the last examination that was sat by students up and down the country, well over 90% of students got 3 or 4 marks for this question. So you're meant to get all of the marks for this one. And then the next question is language analysis. You're given a little extract from the text. Your job is to in that time, probably comment on 3, if not 4, uses of language and think about their effect. What's trying to be communicated? So that's what's for many of you PEA, but we're looking at what's been chosen by the writer, what images, what words, phrases, and what do they communicate? What's the reason for them? Question number 3 is possibly my favourite question on the paper because it's really, really simple but at the same time really easy to get wrong. The structure question. It asks you about the structure of the text. Now, really what it wants to know is, did you understand the page of writing that you were given to read? So take your reader through it. Explain what's happened. Now, I tell my students, think about the text, and if it was going to be broken down into 5 parts, what would they be in order? And just walk the examiner through them. Explain what happens in each section or paragraph, and explain how that focus changes. If you're aiming for top marks, you might notice how the writer is hinting at maybe there's, maybe a conflict about to happen between 2 characters, the way that we they're contrasting them at the beginning of the extract maybe. A lot of the extracts chosen sort of come back to an idea or a character at the end, and if that happens, that's known as a cyclic structure. But for this question, you've got 12 minutes. It's worth 8 marks, just like question 2. So we've got 4 marks for question 1, 8 for question 2, and 8 for question 3. You've only got about 12 minutes. And after that, you've got that mini essay response. You're given a focus to explore. There might be different ways of looking at that focus. It might be about a character, like we really feel sympathy for this character. You might be able to argue both ways, and that would definitely get you more marks. But ultimately, this is a mini essay response asking you to really explore that text and the methods used by the writer. So you can explore some of the language that's used in that and what the writer's trying to achieve. And you need to spend 20-25 minutes on it. It's worth as many marks as 1, 2 and 3. If you're a student who misses out on question 4 because you've spent too much time on question 2 and question 3, you've really lost out on a lot of marks in the paper. Okay, the writing section now. You've got 45 minutes and you get a choice. So you've either got a picture, and that'll be for some sort of descriptive writing, but to be honest, you can get away with writing a story. The examiner wants to know that you have had considered the question, but you're being assessed for your accuracy of your writing and your ideas, and how you're able to write a thorough piece of text that feels like a whole piece. So you can use that image as influence to write a piece of creative story. You can bring a character in if you're asked to write a description. That hasn't seemed to be something that has disadvantaged students in the past. Or you're given a focus, like a sentence starter or a title for a story. You're given a little bit of choice here because they want you to be able to use your time effectively and get straight into writing that response. Now, I've given you 5 minutes here at the beginning. That's for you to plan. I recommend you think about maybe a 5 plan, 5 bullet points that are going to be in your writing, 5 sections, 5 points of action, something like that. So just a very quick plan. What's going to happen? What directions your writing going to take? If you spend 5 minutes at the beginning of this just thinking really carefully about something that's going to be engaging and original, your writing's going to be better. Then you've got that time to write your piece, about 35 minutes of really focused writing. And then at the end, you're going to edit. And a lot of teachers will say, have you read your work back? Which is what you need to do. You will have made some mistakes. It's only natural. But you also need to edit. Have a little look through and see, is there a word that could be more ambitious? Put a line through it and then write above. Have you missed out on punctuation? Correct that. But also you might look at a comma and think, actually, that could be a semicolon. And that sort of choice is going to make a huge amount of difference. Those 10 minutes in that part of the examination over 2 papers is definitely worth a grade. Planning, editing, over 2 papers, that's what, writing's worth 50% of English language. If you spend a bit more time thinking carefully about what you're going to do and then how you've done it at the end, that's really, really going to improve your response. Okay, so how much do you now know? I recommend that you write yourself down on a piece of paper, a nice circle, and then you write your 45 minutes there next to it and see if you can cut it into the right sections for the time that you're going to use. I'll give you a hint. We need 15 minutes for question 1, which is on the left. So that reading section taking you 1 hour. And then go from there. What do you need to do for each question? So I'd start by splitting it up with some lines and show how much time is needed for each question, and then write in each bit what it is you need to do for that question. And then you can rewind this video and you can check and see how accurate you've been. Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask for something you'd like to see me cover in the content section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And there might be a bell apparently, ring that, and keep revising.